Before I start this video, I want to say that this has been my experience and my research and my feelings toward this topic. I don't pass any judgment upon anyone who uses birth control because I definitely did for quite a long time. So no judgment. I'm not saying there's a right way. There's not. Everybody's circumstance is different. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. Hey guys, this is Kylie with Ready for Baby. I want to thank you so much for joining me as I share my first topic with you guys is why I got off of hormonal birth control. So as you're thinking about having a baby and getting ready to conceive, even if it's in the distant future, like for myself, hormonal birth control, you hear so many crazy things about it, the different things that it can do to your body. So for quite a while, I've been off for 2 years now, let me go ahead and say that. But even before that, I was always like, I really wish I didn't have to take this. I wish I didn't have to put these hormones into my body without fully knowing what it's doing to me. I know that it can alter my hormones and just throw everything out of whack. So I had been kind of looking, hoping, researching for quite a while before that, before I found a method that I guess kind of like tipped me over the edge and allowed me to take the jump to get off hormonal birth control. So I'll share that method with you guys in the next video, but let me kind of like back up to the beginning. I got on birth control like in early high school for acne. I know a lot of people my age probably did as well, and it did seem to help. It also made my boobs bigger, which I was a fan of, but some of the things that I wasn't a fan of was it made me extra emotional. So I feel like I can be emotional sometimes anyways being off of the pill, but that was just like amplified and more often. It was not fun, not fun for me or the people that I spent my time with. So that was one of the reasons. Additionally, I was pretty high strung, kind of goes with the emotional side of things. I wasn't my happy self. So pre-birth control, I was pretty happy, easygoing, and that just, the level was not the same. It was like, I wouldn't say like gloomy, and I wouldn't say I was necessarily depressed, but just like crabby and grumpy, not as happy as normal, and that is no fun. Nobody wants to deal with that. So, and then additionally, just knowing I was putting artificial hormones into my body never set right with me. Not knowing fully what they were doing to my body and the long-lasting habits that they could have on my body. So I know a lot of the things that I have read say that, as soon as you stop taking the pill, the hormone just goes straight out of your body. Well, even if that is true, which I don't know that it is. I don't know how much research has been done. I just don't know how you can tell like 100%. But even if that is the case, the hormones go straight out. It takes a while for your hormones to kind of like calibrate and get back to normal. So all of that is why I wanted to get off of birth control, and I always took a hormonal pill, various different kinds. And then in addition to that, these are just kind of like big mainstream things, like possible risks that you hear of, and I'm kind of one of those people, I have to admit, like, oh, it'll never happen to me. Like, it just doesn't seem real, but I know that they are real things that can happen, and that many people have had to deal with them. So some of those are risk of blood clots, and I know that is increased if you are over 35, overweight, or if you're a smoker, but I also read that, healthy people, healthy otherwise people, had blood clots. So that's just pretty scary. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes here. Increased risk of breast, cervical, and liver cancers. That's pretty scary. I know that there are a couple of types of cancers your risk actually decreases while you're on birth control. But if your risk increases for these other cancers, it just I don't know, just doesn't give me a good feeling. Birth control is actually classified as a carcinogen, right at the level of tobacco. So just knowing that information is like, oh my goodness, why would I be putting that in my body? So, don't like that information. Additionally, this is kind of fascinating to me. I didn't even know this when I was on birth control. This is like research afterwards, but birth control can actually destroy the good bacteria in your gut, which can just like throw your whole body out of whack. It can cause yeast overgrowth, and you know, if you don't have a good healthy bacteria in your gut, that's where a lot of your health comes from. So you will be more likely to get sick and just have like a weaker immune system overall. And something else about that is you can pass that weak gut flora onto your kids, which I definitely don't want to do. I definitely want to set them up in the best health as I can. In addition to that, birth control can deplete nutrients in your body. Just to name a few: folate, B vitamins, zinc, and magnesium. So just not good. Not good at all. So even if you are eating a healthy diet and getting all those nutrients that you're supposed to, if you're on the pill, you may not necessarily be getting to use them as your body would like to because of the hormones that you're taking. So and the last thing, I know there's tons more, but birth control can delay fertility. So I know that when someone stops taking the pill, the time can vary before you have a normal period or you're actually able to conceive. So that's, you know, that's just not not comforting, not a good fact to know. Well, it is a good fact to know, but it's something that you don't really want to have to deal with, I guess I should say. So I decided to get off of birth control for good in October of 2014. So it'll be 2 years next month. And my experience getting off was, I would say it was pretty good. It took about a month for me to get my for me to get my first period after getting off. And I had pretty bad cramps like the first 2 cycles off of birth control, but then after that, each time they decreased. So whereas when I was on birth control, I would be doing everything. I would be in the tub trying to ease my cramps. I would actually take Motrin sometimes, which I try to stay away from. I try to take medicine like that as little as possible, just because I know it's like masking the problem rather than fixing it. So, but I would take a bath, try to ease the cramps, take a Motrin sometimes, and then use, what is it called? Dragon Time, Young Living's essential oil, that as well. And then I would just be like completely knocked out for the first, I don't know, 3-4 hours. And I know that's not bad. I know some women deal with it much worse, and oh, I'm so sorry if you do. But subsequent times, my cramps decrease, so I don't have to take Motrin anymore. I don't have to get in the bathtub anymore. I'm still pretty tired, but I think that's a pretty common symptom of being on your period. Your body's doing a lot of work. So yeah, mild cramps now and a regular period, which is great because that's supposed to let you know that things are working well. So overall, I am like thrilled with getting off of birth control. I wish I would have done it, you know, a lot sooner than I had. But then at the same time, I'm glad that by the time we do start trying to conceive, I will have been off like a good long time. So if there are any residual effects, they will have had the best chance of going away. And who knows, I still could be like experiencing some like hormonal imbalances. I have no idea. I really don't. But it just makes me feel good that I'm off and letting my body do what it is supposed to do. So next week I will share my natural birth control method with you guys. It has been amazing. It's been a lot easier than I thought it would be. It's been kind of liberating not having to be tied down to taking a pill at a certain time each day. It's been cheaper, I would imagine. There is an upfront cost, but being off for 2 years and then paying for birth control depending on what kind you get, over, I don't know when it like evens out and you start gaining, but I would say overall it's been cheaper, and it has been a lot easier than I thought it would be too. So I look forward to sharing that information with you in next week's video. I want to thank you again for joining me, and please comment below if you have any experience of your own to share. I'm sure others would love to read. I would love to learn from you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks again.